buddy. Oh, hey, buddy.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi.
let's take a look. Boom, here we are. We
Oh,
are
here.
live. There you go. Boom.
Oh, oh my gosh.
Hey, buddy.
And what
Hey,
is the thing here? We are live reacting
boom.
first
Here
before
we
we.
are. Yes, I need
Oh,
you
here.
to take the sound off because I'm hearing
Oh,
myself in
oh my
double.
gosh. And what is the thing here? We
I
are
don't
live
know what
reacting
to tell
first
you.
before we.
Yes, I need you to take the sound off because I'm hearing myself in
Oh my
double.
gosh. And what is the
I got
thing
two
here? We are
screens
live
separate
reacting
from each
first
other. I
before
cannot
we.
control them on one device.
Okay. Whatever you don't hear me on, so whatever the
I got
call
two
is on,
screens
get the
separate
other
from
thing
each
on.
other. I cannot
It
control
says
them on
mic
one
is
device.
quiet. Mic is
Okay,
quiet.
I'll get you up.
Whatever you don't
There
hear
you
me
go.
on.
So whatever the
I got
call
two
is on,
screens
get
separate
the other
from
thing
each
Hello?
other. I cannot
Am
control
I
them on
less
one
mic is
device.
quiet? Mic is
Okay,
quiet.
I'll get you up.
Whatever you don't hear me on. So whatever the call is on, get the other thing.
Hello? Am I
So
less
mic is
quiet?
quiet.
Mic is
Okay,
quiet.
I'll get you up.
Whatever you don't hear me on. So whatever the call is on, get the other thing.
Hello? Am I The less
Mic is
intro quiet? is
quiet.
YouTube. Oh, I see.
Yes.
I'll get you up. Hear me on. So whatever the
I'm
call is on,
here
get
because
the other
Lilik
thing.
and I hugged once in
The intro
2007. Who
is
was
YouTube.
that? Oh,
I
I
have no
see.
idea. For the people who are watching the live
I'm
stream at the
here
same time,
because
we
Lilik and I
are
hugged once in
reacting to the premiere
2007.
as it
Who
goes
was
on. It's
that?
starting!
Oh,
It's
I
starting!
see.
Watch it!
It's starting.
It's
Okay.
starting! For the people who are
Oh
watching
boy,
the
let's
live
go.
stream at the
Here
same time,
because
we
Lilik and I
are
hugged once in
reacting to the premiere as
2007.
it
Who
goes
was
on. It's
that?
starting!
Oh,
It's
I
starting!
see.
Watch it!
It's starting.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm excited. For the people who
Oh
are watching
boy,
the
let's
live
go.
stream at the
Here
same time,
because
we
Lilik and I
are
hugged once in
reacting to the
all right.
premiere as it goes on.
Oh
It's
boy.
starting! It's starting! Watch it!
It's starting.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm excited. For the people who
Oh
are
boy,
watching the
let's
live
go.
stream at the
Here.
same
It
time,
was
we
kind of a shame to
are
get these
reacting to the
two
premiere
to
as it goes
be
on. It's starting.
my
It's starting.
fodder for the
Watch it.
short just because they're so
Okay, I'm
handsome.
excited.
It was
We
kind of a shame to
are
get these two to be my fodder for the short just because they're so
I'm
handsome.
excited.
Like, I
It
bet
was
Luke
kind of
can
a
just
shame to
find
get
work on
these
that smile
two
alone.
to
That's all I'm
be
saying. My fodder for the short just because they're so
Mike,
handsome.
you're listening to
Like, I bet Luke can
the
just
live
find work
stream.
on
You
that
need
smile
to
alone.
take
That's
the
all I'm
audio
saying.
off of that.
My fodder for the short just because they're so
Mike,
handsome.
you're listening
I
to
like. I bet Luke can
the
just
live
find work
stream.
on
You
that
need
smile
to
alone.
take
Have
the
it
audio off of
muted.
that.
I don't know what's it tell you.
Mike, you're listening
I
to
like. I bet Luke can
the
just
live
find work
stream.
on
You
that
need
smile
to
alone.
take
Have
the
it
audio off
muted.
of that.
I don't know. I'm sorry if it's
What's it tell you?
futzing with your.
You're listening
I
to
like. I bet Luke can just
the live
find work
stream.
on
You
that
need
smile
to
alone.
take
Have
the
it
audio off
muted.
of that.
I don't know. I'm sorry if it's
What's it tell you?
futzing with your.
You're listening
I
to
like. I bet Luke can just find.
Okay, how's that now? That was me. It was all my fault.
Oh. Oh, jeez.
It was all my fault.
Oh, your fault. Oh, here we go. Now the action just started up.
Yes, that's the fight.
It was. Oh my God. There are a couple of bits here.
Okay, I lost you again, but that's my fault.
That part in particular, I fought for.
Yes, okay, I fixed it. I fixed the thing. We should
You
move.
fixed it?
I think so.
Okay.
The
We
drying rack.
almost.
It was a great part. We wanted to change it for it was originally a cutting board, but boom, boom, yeah, it was a cutting board, and we changed it because we everybody is okay. Let me send that. We've seen it 17,000 times, like the cutting board action, but a drying rack, that's a new thing, new and improved.
It is a bit. I mean, it was great for comedic effect, especially since the cuts are so close to each other.
Yes. Okay.
It comically
So,
so fast.
so here we are. We've got the whole thing. I'm
Is
just gonna
that?
tell everybody to pop on over to the other side after the credits. Pop on over to our live on the other side. Live Q&A on the other side. Boom, there you go.
Please.
You got the ninjas, you got the whole thing. And
Okay.
here we go. So that was it for the premiere. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be popping over. That chat is done. I am popping over in the other thing.
I am here,
Yes, you are. Okay. Are
but I
you
do
here?
not see me on the
Yeah, I know
screen.
that's my
I'm
fault.
here, but I don't see me.
Okay, are you there? You're there on the thing?
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
we
there we
got
go.
you
Now we
now.
are. Oh man, I'm beautifully. Oh, mm,
Okay. So,
Mike is still
let's.
quiet.
Mike is. Are you still quiet?
Oh,
Let's
there
see.
we go. There we go.
Bonjour. Hi.
Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, everyone. So, sorry, that was loud. Can everybody hear me okay? And can everybody hear Mike?
Hello, it is me, Michael Anton Lillig.
Yes, yes, yes.
How we doing? How we doing?
Okay, so I wanted to say thank you to everyone for being here for now. We're very happy that you watched. Hello from Mexico, Rodney. It's good to see you.
Oh, that's Emmanuel.
Uh,
That's
it
gotta be him. Oh,
My
nice to
mic
see
is
you.
low. Okay, 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 okay. Let me just adjust that. Okay,
Oh
I've
my
popped us a
God.
little bit up.
We're all
Okay,
quiet.
how about this?
Technical,
We are so
beautiful
loud
technical
now.
difficulties.
We are so loud. Okay, hopefully everybody can hear us okay now. Let me fix this. Okay. Yes. Mike, go
That's
on.
neat. Ah, that's so nice to see you, Emmanuel. Are we here? And I
Yes.
do want to actually like say something before we even start this Q&A
Absolutely.
formally.
Go on.
There is a problem with the credits, and I feel like it needs to be addressed because I've had such a problem with it. But he hasn't exactly gotten back to me. I'm assuming because of life. Dom Grimm should be in the credits for sound editing in there. I don't know why he's not.
It
I
happened.
guess I guess we'll have to have you uncredited in the credits somewhere in IMDb, but there you go.
Okay. Well, thanks, Mike. So, let's start the Q&A and everything. Again, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. I'm very thankful. Very sorry for Dom not being the credit, and also very thankful for everyone being here.
Yeah.
Um, what we wanted to do with this first, welcome to the channel, right? Fight Beast. This is our first official live streaming and first Q&A. I'm very happy that this is the project we started on to have everybody and see what kind of things we do. This project had been kind of stuck in the post-production limbo for a while. We didn't really have a place to send it, and we didn't know what to do with it. So
Hmm.
so when I popped up the channel recently, I contacted Mike, the director of the short, and the guy who had this whole idea about the universe it's set in. And I told him, hey, I want to do a live. I want to go on and I want to show I want to show our work so that people can see what we've done and this can live forever on the channel.
Hmm.
So first, I'm gonna stand in. If people have questions, go on. We're gonna try and pick them up as you go. But what was the idea? How did you come up with this? What was the idea? What was working in your brain for this to come out?
So originally, a long time ago, I was a fan of this very bad Japanese action movie. I think like back in early 2000 called Pistol Opera.
Okay.
It was supposed to look like some kind of psychedelic thriller of assassins killing each other.
Yeah.
And that that concept just kind of stuck with me ever since I watched that movie. And the funny thing is that as the years go by, you end up seeing a lot of these other movies or TV shows that are surrounded around like, oh, these groups of people just have to fight each other to survive or like work themselves up the ranks. But I wanted to do something in the point of view of the company that is doing it.
Yeah. Okay.
Because won't somebody think of the shareholders?
That's good. Yeah, that's nice.
And I've had this idea in my head for I want to say like close to a decade now at this point. And uh, meeting Olivier was the jumping off point. It's like, no, wait, no, this is the perfect time to do this. This can be done. Stunt people will do anything.
We will do anything. That's true, right? We love sharing our art and just being on set working, and for me specifically creating choreography and trying to build things together, especially working with people who have ideas, who give me something to work with, like not, oh, you have a blank room and you can do whatever you want. That's kind of boring to me. But you came to me with they're in a small apartment, we have you showed me the space, what kind of idea you had, and then I know that they're both assassins, so I got something to work with, something interesting to build off on, and
Hmm.
that really gets my gears going, and I was really happy to come to work the fight in there with Dan, Janan, and Luke, who were our two actors, by the way, for the people who don't know who they were.
Yeah, you
Uh,
did a great job.
yeah, no, we had a really good time, and it was
Hmm.
great because that I think I've seen 10 different versions of that world. The Apricot world, which is the company, people in the chat. This is the company that they are part of. So
Yeah.
let's give you a little bit of context. I know the description talks a little bit about it, but Mike, can you tell us a little bit of context of who they are? Why are they in the same apartment? What is this? What's happening?
Ah, okay, so there's basically a lot to unpack here. The what it is conceptually is something that is inspired by Vancouver itself.
Oh, hi,
So
hello.
Apricot is the company at large. It's an Apple-like company. They're billions, trillion-dollar business, whatever. Have their hands in so many things, and they have an assassination bureau, and they also have like a lot of employees in the bureau. Like that's the jumping off point for this. Like for the pilot that I would love to work on, this case file 14 is a glimpse into like the jumping off point for all of the events. Because they go and they claim, oh, we just want to let people go, and we're leaving it up to you guys. And because they have a lot of assassins, there's like a lot of low level people. Like they're like they're the good employees that have they're been working for the company for years, have their retirement money lined up and stuff like that. But there's also just hilariously, there are people that are really just fighting to survive within the company and also in the city.
Yes, and can you tell us more about that specifically? Because we don't really say anything about this, but this is really based in where we live. We're in Vancouver at the moment, and as you know, the housing here is insane. And so, so they're both living together as low-level assassins
Yeah.
because of that, right? Is that what you were going with?
Yeah, and I think it's like it's not even just this, but there have been other ideas that I've wanted to work on that are in that style that just like the there is a housing crisis, there is a problem with rent in the city, and the landlords are bumping up prices or like renovicting people, getting rid of buildings, turning it into some other thing. And it's one of those things. It's a very hidden subplot in what this thing is as a whole, but because it's such a struggle to live in the city, you'll get an instance like this where there are assassins, like a lot of assassins living with each other in these places just because it's a place to live. Like if you want to have good rent for a place, you're essentially sharing a space with three or four other people. And in a situation like this, if you're all working for the same company at the same time, it can get messy.
Definitely. Sorry, I'm just responding to the chat. So, speaking of that, speaking of the where we're going with that, You said that there was going to be probably more more experienced assassins, company men and all of that. And
Yes.
we want to this glimpse that we did into the world of Apricot is just that. It's a glimpse of a future thing. This is definitely projects that are going to be on hold if you want, but they're still being produced and worked on as we speak. I'd be playing one of those company men, one of those assassins, which is why we had those two as fathers, because then they're gone and I can come in and
Yeah.
actually fight people.
But it's like it's but with this one in particular as well, like it's really just a glimpse of like these two guys that were fighting each other in the short that we did. They're obviously new to the company. They're very amateur as assassins, and they want to keep their job because if they keep their job, then they're still getting money. They get to live in the city a little longer, and maybe eventually get into doing things that they want to do. But like you're also just they know that they're fighting to survive.
Yes, Hedgie, you can definitely be in one of the next fight. We will throw you off a building if you want. I'm all for it. I don't know if we'll have mats, but we'll throw you off the building. You just gotta land.
Yeah,
Uh,
sign up if you want to be killed in Apricot.
So keeping on with that, so we are planning on making more stuff. So imagine this for people who just watched the short. Imagine that as the cold open. We would see most likely the sorry, I'm not directing for you there, Mike. I'm just telling you what's
That's okay.
happening in my
That's
head.
okay. Yeah.
So we would see the email on a computer. Yes, we're working a full-length movie. It's what we're trying to piece out together here. Imagine the movie begins with the email. Someone is reading the email, probably Luke on his phone coming through. He sees the email on the phone, and as he gets through the door, the email saying that they're downsizing, and the people at the level. If you want to keep your place, you gotta I'm gone. You gotta keep the other people out of your way. So
Yeah.
so with that in mind, as that email happened, then we start with this short. He comes into the room, and there his other roommate assassin is there, and we start with boom, right? Does that make any sense to you, Mike? Am I
Yeah.
out of
No,
place?
no, that's great. Like the first thing that he's confronted with when he comes through that door is, do you want to keep your job?
Yeah. Is it really
Because I
important? We
guess we're
are
going to
low
have to
level.
do this. Yeah.
Yeah, we are low level. I mean, we can quit. Like
Hmm.
there's other ways around this, but they kind of both want it, right? You can say like, I'm still gonna do this.
If you're a new guy in the company, there is a little level of cockiness of like, well, I'm clearly the hot shit. I'm pretty good assassin, so I think I can take this guy on.
Yeah, and I think that makes for good interactions. As we move on to the future and more things,
Hmm.
that'll be fun. I'm gonna leap this way to chat. So questions, anybody? Questions, concerns, anything about if you want to ask questions about the fight itself or about how we built this, because this was built on no budget at all. We there was no budget. Like what cost was the music and the editing really,
It
and the
it
coffee.
was.
So
I'll
many
tell you
coffees.
what. The thing that basically got me to do this was my tax return.
That's true. That's I remember. Yeah, because
Yeah.
you had the
Yeah.
project on hand for a long time,
Yeah.
and you were like, yes,
Yeah.
I've got money to do it. Let's do a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, governments of Canada. I'm gonna make a short that is an allegory
Yes.
for all of this.
Okay, we got two questions here in chat. Guys, favorite. What is your guys' favorite part of the fight? So actually, all chat. If you have a favorite part, just say so we can take a look at it. But Mike, you go first. Tell me what
I
the
do actually have an answer to this.
yes.
My favorite part of the fight, and this is something that I went to my editor and was very much like, no, you have to keep this in because I wanted my cameraman to do this, so you're putting it in. uh, the part of the fight where it does the wide
Yeah.
and one guy is in the kitchen already and the other guy has to go around,
Yes.
where the camera shifts right to left
Yeah. That
and
little that slide, right?
yeah, with that slide there, with the freezer door of the fridge slamming into his face. I loved that part so much. Like, I think we recorded that shot 3 times. And by the third time, I was just so in love with the way it happened. I was like, perfect. This
Yeah,
is my shot. This is the one I need in
yeah.
here.
Yeah, no, that's great. For me personally, I mean, I'm seeing in chat right now a couple of things. So we have the drying rack part, which we'll get into. We'll get into very soon, and the freezer head slam. Yeah, that was the slide door. What was the time? Okay, we'll get back into the last question after. For me, the the best part of the fight, I have to say, it's because of the sound effect and because the reaction from Luke was so good. So if you go back to the short and listen, really put the headphones on, when Luke gets his head slammed onto the oven range, like we've got a nice big metal pop that really rings, and you've got his head slamming to the side, and that for me is amazing. Obviously, you know the diving, him coming back, all of that. All of this is really good. Like
Yeah.
I did this, so I like all the parts of it. They're all good. But yeah, that was my if I had to pick one beat, that would be it.
Uh,
Yes, go on, Mike.
there was also a one shot that I do not believe is in the final edit, but when Luke is being thrown over the counter, there
Yes.
was one shot, or there was one recording of it where he was thrown over in the meatiest way.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
more heavy throw and like it
yeah,
kind of
yeah, like
slammed on
he
it and
cleared it. Like he didn't even slide off of the counter. He cleared it
yeah.
completely.
No, that's true. It was good. It was hard to choose which exactly to so that it felt right. But
Hmm.
we had some really good stuff in there. And
Yeah.
yeah, so we have the drying rack. Drying rack was really fun. Like I said earlier, for those who weren't there, the drying rack part for me, yeah, Rip Luke, poor Luke, he's dead now. Uh, Uh, the drying rack part was interesting because we actually had a cutting board. I don't remember who it came from on the day, but we were discussing the cutting board. You know, having the knife hit the cutting board and all this. Also, not only would it be harder because we'd have to have the real knife get into. Speaking of, yeah, we'll talk about the props later, Heather. Um, Props. This is the actual real knife. It's an actual K-bar, USMC. As you can see, this is the props that it was built off on. I don't have it on hand, sadly, but I have just kind of the same version-ish of the fake one. It's not the same, I know, but you see how this is a little bit wiggly and so what we would have had to do with the cutting board for it to really sell, we would have to get the real knife into a wooden cutting board, ruining a cutting board. But having the drying rack, what we could do is just get the shot and get it inside the the drying rack, and then we can move it. And also, it is a little bit funnier, but more like Jackie Chan, Buster Keaton way, not like ha ha,
Hmm.
this is funny. It's just
Yeah.
situationally funny. So having that with the fake one, it just kind of solved two problems for us. Um, so it was really fun. And okay, sorry, I'm just rambling. What other questions we? I'm just having fun. So the props. Yeah. So Heather Lum, who is here as Two Hands Mini Games, which is my moderator, she's been working with us on props and other film work. She trained with us at Blood and Iron and did some falls and everything. And she makes PTU props, which are amazing for especially for us stunt people because they look like the real deal. They're 3D printed, and when they are uh, once they're painted, they're kind of soft, but just hard enough that you don't see the difference on camera. So if I you see this glass right, I have it in my head. It's just soft. I can squish it. It's great, right? It's the whole
Mm.
thing, but this one is a little bit too squishy. But this would be great for a slide across the table, anything, any kind of props in the back that I'm throwing. Yeah, they don't rub. They just take they go back to their original size, which is amazing.
Hmm.
Um, so because they don't break, we are actually working on another show right now, and Heather made a few plates. So what we have is we have the guy throwing a bunch of plates so that they don't break and they look like the real deal until we'll have a hero one that breaks on the guy's face at the end. So those are really, really, really nice to have, and they're going to save my ass a few times instead of getting hit with something that would hurt. Okay,
Uh,
through the
I
Mike, go on.
will say that there is actually like three questions that we could probably answer.
Yes, go, 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 go.
Oh, from Ravity. The first one was there thought to have a situational actions for the first assassin to let the viewer know he is both an assassin and a salaryman? Oh, uh, that is a good question. I think in a perfect world, if we spent more time with it, we could be a little bit more deliberate about it, like maybe other scenes, but a lot of the stuff was we had one day to film it and we barely had the whole day to do that. So when I was talking to Olivia about doing this stuff, it's like, what is something that we could just knock out?
Definitely. And yeah, that's what we went. So I know there was a lot of thoughts to expand this. You know, there's a and like any other project, anytime you look back at it, like, oh, if I added this one shot, or if I added these 3 seconds here, I could make this clearer. I could this.
Yeah,
So but you know, if you go with that attitude, you will never finish a project ever.
yeah,
Uh,
and I guess it's like it's also one of those things too that like in a way you're seeing that they are assassin salaryman because they're essentially wearing a uniform, like the whole very stereotypical black suit, white shirt, black tie thing. It's evident in at least these two people. If there were more people in this fight scene, then it would probably be a lot more obvious.
yeah.
Maybe if there was a briefcase to be used as a prop to throw people around with.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to clarify that, and those are all thoughts, that we can keep for next things, the next things we'll build and everything. Just the language of filmmaking and storytelling, just to a couple of beats that we missed. I'll get back to you, Matt, as after for the next question. We see that Luke is finding tape on a couple of places.
Mhm, mhm,
So what happened with that is we were supposed to, not that we were supposed to, but we, now that I'm looking at it from the, in hindsight, is we would have put some inserts on the actual tape, him looking for a thing, right? Insert on him looking for because he's looking for hidden weapons that they have hidden in the apartment, and they have all been taken out. So Dan has removed all of them. So that's why he's playing with tape. He's looking, at the light. He's looking behind the bookshelf. He's looking under the counter. It's all places that he had put weapons, but Dan took them all out before it happened. So that's a beat that is not as clear as we would have wanted. Yes, exactly. So that would be nice. Matt was asking if it is hard to not break the set, and I have to say yes, 100%. It
Was it
is it
hard?
is really hard. We have to be careful.
There were certain props where this was my old apartment that we were filming in, and my old roommate still lived there, and there were things that were just broken. Like I believe the TV that was there was broken, and the couch that we were using was also broken. So there was a lot of like, hey, if something happens to them, I don't care.
Yeah. No, which is good for me. For me, that makes everything easier because I can just ram into things and move stuff. Having to preserve the set is actually a big thing in a lot of in other things we do, because sometimes you just can't hit the walls. You can't hit this. You can't hit that because either they're built really poorly, or they're just kind of fake out walls if you're in a studio and all that. So you have to be very mindful of what you are. And often, like, if the prop you have is the only one, or you have only two of them, you can't go too hard. Or once you break them, which is why having Hedgie's PTU things are really nice. Otherwise, if you break it, it's done. So like you got to figure something out, which is really
and
hard.
then, and there's also something that could be answered for another question in there, but I did want to address that. Rob was saying a picture in ultra zooms to both their name badges, the company name, and their position. Yeah, like that's one of those things that if we had a lot more time and money, I would have given them both lanyards, and we would have done like the graphics that we would have needed to do. I don't even technically have an Apricot logo yet because I'm trying to figure out the best way to make something look like the Apple logo, but not
Yes.
really.
Yeah. So we want to do the Apple logo without getting sued.
Yeah, we have to. Which
Yeah.
is like, if we had this as a pilot, we went up to Apple TV Plus and be like, "Here's this idea. It's not you. Don't
You don't
worry."
worry about it. I mean, another thing. I mean, if we get sued by Apple to do that, we can just roll with it and just make it. They're even more an evil corporation, and they're trying to send assassins after us. So we can do
Yeah.
it.
Um,
Um,
but I will, like, the next question in there was, how much did you guys have to slow down from the first rehearsals?
yeah,
We did it like we did an initial one that was like, this is where Olivier is a master. Like, you just put him in an empty room and he'll be like, okay, we could do this, and we walk through the entire thing. So the first initial day was like, okay, here's all of the ideas that we can do. And then we also had to figure out on the same day, how can we shorten this down so everything could be fluid and easy to film on the day. So I think even when Dan and Luke were there on rehearsal, we didn't have to do much anything. Like, it was, our choreography was basically perfect from them doing the rehearsal, that we didn't have to change much, I think.
no. And the part about slowing down, what really happens for me, whenever I work a choreography, I work it in slow motion. Like, and you'll hear me say that all the time. My brother's in the chat. He's like, you have to walk like you're going through molasses. Like, this is slow motion. So it has to be uncomfortably slow so that you can figure out where you walk in each and every step you're doing. And also because everybody just keeps getting super hyped about things, right?
Hmm.
So we have to take it real slow because it realistically for me, if I have people who can work it slow, even in slow motion, it takes less than 5 minutes for me to speed them up.
There was only one time that we were maybe slow in rehearsal, and this goes back to, I think, a question that Sarah asked of,
Yeah.
like, did anybody get hurt?
I mean,
Uh,
Mike,
there
our
was,
sound guy, had an eye infection, but I don't think that he.
well, there was one time on the rehearsal and then one time on the day.
Yeah.
The rehearsal time was, on the couch.
Yes.
It was how we were having a fight on the couch. Oh, this is something that actually did change a little bit, because I think Dan was originally lifting Luke up and slamming him down on the
Yeah.
couch,
We
but
were
we
we had
decided
a.
against it because he knocked his head on the arm,
Yes,
and
we
I
did
was
that.
immediately like, "Oh no, 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 no! We can't hurt my actors."
Yeah, that's what we did have to change that. And it was,
Yeah.
that happens all the time. There's things people are not necessarily comfortable with, or, you see again with the props on the table, or just with the set. You're like, oh no, we
Hmm.
can't do that. Like we had the idea of it, but we couldn't really
Hmm.
make it work. And there was a wooden bar in the middle of the couch. So the couch was so old and broken down that the two
Yeah.
cushions were really soft, but the middle bar was just like you were hit it every time you
Yeah,
hit. So
it was definitely a risky move to
yeah.
do.
Yeah, so having the flip just didn't work, so we just had the side throw, which was better. It ended up
Uh-huh.
being very nice. Um,
And then the second time of somebody being hit, I know I'm like answering two questions at
no,
once
no, no.
here. The second time of somebody being hurt was Dan being tossed from one room to the other. I don't know if it translates well on video, but those two doorways are actually very different places.
Yeah. So
So
if you're
we
looking at the
could.
screen, right, so you're looking at the angle right here. So that's if they were right in front of the one of the other, but they're
Mhm,
literally, sorry, like this, right? They're really far apart. So the angle to go through one, like that angle here is really shallow. So you have to be on an angle.
mhm.
It's really hard. And I was upset. I have to say, I was upset. Obviously, we're all doing this for no pay and everything, and I'm very fair to people who know me are particular about things when I get into fight scenes and I have an idea in my mind. So when Dan was just not throwing himself as hard as I wanted it, it made me upset. I was like, "Ugh,
Yeah,
ugh, just throw yourself. And that's I'm not actually angry, but it's like looking at it like I want it to be faster. I want it. This is like about what I want the shot to look like and what is actually realistic on the day. Um,
yeah.
so he did hit the frame a couple of times, but nothing hard. Like that's why you see him kind of lean, and sometimes he finds the frame with his hands. which is completely fair and understandable. So he never really hurt himself, but he was worried about it, which is
Oh,
what translates in the shot.
I think the one shot that we ended up going with was the shot where he actually did hit it at the right angle and
Yeah,
almost hurt himself
yeah, yeah. It's
pretty
a hard
badly,
shot.
but it like unfortunately sometimes you end up doing that to get something perfect, which is, not a great mentality to have.
Yeah, I mean it's a hard job. Like being a stunt performer is a hard job, especially a stunt actor or whatever. Sometimes you have to really dial it in, and there's a reason professional stunt performers get paid what they do. It is a dangerous job, and sometimes you put yourself in danger. It is a like, you have to be an athlete and really work your craft to 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 make the job good, right? To make it look good.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing to do.
No,
Um,
no. But how many times did he end up bouncing on the door frame? How many times was that?
Three or four.
Quite a lot. The the next question was the fact that both characters were assassins affected choreo in any way. Ah, I would have maybe loved it if they were sloppier as assassins. I think if I had a lot more time with
You didn't tell
this,
me that. What?
well,
What?
so like at its heart, at its core, I can never really take anything seriously, and I wish that that stuff gets reflected on the things that I like working on. So the fact that these guys are like relatively low level assassins, I wanted them to be, amateurish, but like, you know,
No, but they are compared to when I'll be on screen. Come
yeah.
on.
Well, there will be a very obvious thing of like, uh, if you see a high level, well natured assassin fighting any one of these guys, like there will probably be no contest. Like I think, um, I want to say if we had a lot more time in doing these things, and if we had the space for it, we probably would have recorded something in the bathroom, and
Yes.
that's where you hear a lot of the noises of like what's going on in there.
And I
And
think that changes the nature of it. I think what we ended up with, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
oh no, go
You
right
can go
ahead.
back. So I think that steady shot of the hallway and the sounds, because that was not the original plan. We did want to go into the bathroom and do the whole thing, and maybe break even something on top of his head, have the water and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
That was an idea. It was considered. Um, but with the time we had and everything, we ended up having that steady shot that makes it funny again because you get the sound and Luke
Yeah.
turning the lights on and off as he gets in there. So that's an interesting bit too. That's what I would call a happy accident. So that through necessity on the day, we had to make a choice that put us that created a great creative uh, yeah, a great creative spot there for us to like, oh, we're stuck with this. We don't really have time, and we had to be creative about it and make interesting shot.
I also will add that another key of telling you that they are assassins is when Luke is having the conversation with Dan, and he's like looking around to all of the hiding spots where weapons would be.
Yeah,
And every time he looks at something, he's like, "Oh, that's not there clearly."
yeah,
So that's,
yes,
that's another at least
yeah. And
more.
for us, because we know it, it's obvious to you and me, but yes, again, in hindsight, looking back at it, just if you don't know what's happening, it's kind of just weird. You're just touching things, and that it's not as obvious as we could have done it. But
Yeah.
it's what happened. We'll do better in the next one. We've got another question. So that's I guess it's for me. The wise one asks me. So do you rehearse first at 50% speed, then
Oh yeah,
80,
you would
then
know
shoot?
this.
Yes.
You would know this.
So to be honest, I start slower than 50%. Usually, I'll give you an example as I'm walking through here. And one, and two, and we go through the next, and then I get punch. Boom, right? This is yeah, yeah. So Sarah says that wasn't obvious for the thing for the placement of the items. Yeah, and you were there on the shoot day.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I rehearse as slow as possible until people are comfortable. Then I start adding speed. Um, Thomas is saying that one of his friends, when he was a soldier, kept guns in his pots and kitchen cupboards.
That would have been
Yes,
perfect.
that's basically it. No, but that's basically it, right? It is the idea of what that scene was, just having hidden weapons everywhere to establish that they're assassins and agents of some kind, right? That was the idea of it. But yeah, coming back quickly to the speed, as slow as possible until the moves are muscle memory. And as Thomas is in the chat, who I work with all the time, would say, until you can recite Shakespeare while doing your fight scene, you shouldn't speed up. So if you can do your fight scene, right, the whole thing, fighting, blah blah blah, while having completely different text in your head and saying it out loud, then you can go faster. Until then, you shouldn't be, and that's true. Like until that fight is really in your body, I don't need the speed. I really don't. Um, and you've seen me work, Mike, so you know this is kind of what it is. Yeah.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
think I think we've been there for nearly an hour already. I would keep going forever, but I'm sure that people will eventually get bored.
Oh my
So
gosh.
do we have a few more last few questions? I see three questions if you have them, and then we'll stop. And you can feel free to obviously, and I'll do what we all do. Please like and subscribe and comment and do all of the very things you need to do for the YouTube. This is a new channel. I'm gonna do breakdowns. We're gonna have more live streaming. I'm probably gonna do a restream of Extraction, the other short film on my channel, which was, it's not my best work, but it was great learning experience. So I would like to
It was
do
fun to
that.
be on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was
So
fun
so
to be
yeah,
on.
the YouTube things. Everybody like, subscribe, comment, send it to your mother, send smoke signals to everybody.
I will
Yes,
say
Mike.
that this short that we did, it's helped me get the momentum to work on Apricot at
Yes.
large,
And see,
and
now I'm giving you more momentum so that now it
yeah.
exists. It is
So like
out
now
there.
that it's out there and people have seen this thing,
Yes.
being like, "Oh wow, this guy that I know is capable of putting something like this together.
Yes.
That's amazing."
Great.
I mean, half the reason why I'm even down here back in Flin Flon, Manitoba, is so I have all of this time and space to just
Yeah.
focus on things.
Great. Okay,
Yeah.
last two questions. Anybody? And if you don't have them, we'll just let you go back to your own lives. And okay, no
Go
questions.
back to your life.
Yes, questions, concerns, problems, issues, cash checks, Venmo, anything? No. No. Okay. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Honestly, thank you so much for being here. Oh, wait. What are you working on next?
Oh,
Sorry, blurry.
oh, is this a question for both of us,
I think so.
or okay?
Yeah, Mike first, go. We've got 30
Oh,
seconds for you.
me first. Okay. Oh God. So with the way that the world is right now, there's never been a better time to work on Apricot. I have written a short scene that is based off of something a certain billionaire did on stage some weeks back. That is takes place within the office of Apricot. So if I can muster some people together to work on that one, then that'll be the next thing that I work on.
Great, great. No, don't worry, Hedley. We'll have you comments. I'm excited to work on that, Mike. If you need me for anything, obviously. For me, I'm going to be doubling James Clayton in his new movie. I've doubled him on two movies before, Bulletproof or The Pursuit, and Get Fast. And this is the third movie I'll be doubling him for. Go find those on the YouTubes and on the streamings. I'm creating two big fights. One kitchen fight that we rehearsed this morning with those lovely props, and also a big martial arts fight. I don't want to spoil too much, but there's a Jean-Claude Van Damme split kick in there, so you gotta watch it when it comes out.
Uh,
Thank you so much again for being here. Do the like, subscribe, and everything. I don't really have an outro. I'll get one next time. Thank you so much for this, and I will see you all in the next video.
Whenever that is.
Okay.
Thanks for
Goodbye.
this. Bye.